So tonight's panel about Loki was put together because Loki has his own series coming out.
Hell yes, Christy!
He earned it.
It'll be on Disney Plus, and once it starts streaming, we will watch the first few episodes, we'll score them, and get back to you to let you know what we thought. Welcome back to They Call Me Uncle.
Today's panel, the Norse god of mischief, Loki.
Loki. Marvel's Loki came into being in October 1962 in Journey into Mystery 85. Although, wouldn't you say his debut is like in the old school mythology by like thousands of years?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Up to you.
But I haven't read that.
Up to you.
Okay, so Loki showed up in Journey into Mystery 85, like Carter was saying. The cover was done by Jack Kirby. This was written by Stan Lee, and so his first appearance was created by Stan Lee and Jack Kirby, who did a lot of the comics back then. In this story, Loki has been magically imprisoned in a tree for centuries.
Yeah.
For causing trouble. The other gods, he just says the other gods locked him up, and the only way he can get out is if someone sheds a tear for him. So he's been hanging out in this tree, and he's managed to create some kind of mental control over the tree.
And he becomes the Whomping Willow from
Harry Potter.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of when I saw that. Like, is that how he exerts control on a tree?
Loki sees Heimdall walking by. Heimdall, of course, is the guardian of the Bifrost, the Rainbow Bridge. And he manages to cause a leaf to flutter down and poke Heimdall in the eye, causing his eye to water, and he sheds a tear, which, since they were so specific about what would release him, it releases him.
Yeah, like, you shed a tear, but not for Loki. You shed a tear because there's a leaf in your eye.
Well, but you shed it because of Loki.
Oh.
So
semantics. Curse semantics.
You have to show empathy for Loki.
Exactly. You have to have a deep spiritual bond with Loki and then shed a tear for him.
Yep. Nope.
So Loki's first thought is, I'm going after Thor. Well, Thor showed up for his first time in Journey into Mystery 83, and then in 84 he's fighting the Reds or the Communists or something. Well, in 85, Journey into Mystery 85, so now Loki comes into the picture, goes down to Earth, and hunts down Thor. To draw Thor out, he starts causing trouble. He causes people to turn into a negative version, like a photograph negative, by surrounding them with antimatter or something. Yeah. So Thor comes out, and him and Loki get into it, and in the end, Thor manages to defeat Loki, like he always does.
Yeah,
and
because Loki's really scrawny. Like you can't beat Thor when you're Loki sized.
No.
He knows his limits.
Well, and we were talking about that. Loki never confronts Thor physically. He always tricks him. He is the god of mischief. And so he uses illusions. He actually hypnotizes Thor by reflecting light from the sun off Thor's own whirling hammer. Hypnotizes him. But Loki at the time doesn't know that if Thor's hammer is away from him for 60 seconds, he turns into Don Blake. And so when Thor turns into Don Blake, it breaks the spell, and he gets away.
But wait, Uncle, who is Don Blake?
Oh, that's good. So, Don Blake, because we have filmed a Thor panel, but we haven't released it yet. Don Blake is Thor's alter ego. And so when Thor
Deflates.
deflates, if he's away from his hammer, or if he purposely taps his hammer on the ground, he transforms into Don Blake, who is a physician. And actually he is a crippled doctor because Odin was teaching him a lesson. So
By taking his legs.
Well, he can still walk, he just needs a stick.
Yeah, which is my
Part of his legs.
Myanmar.
Mjolnir.
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 So
Power of the hammer.
Thor defeats Loki, actually hooks him onto his hammer, whirls him around, and throws him back to Asgard,
Yeah.
where the hammer delivers Loki to Odin, Tyr, and Balder, and some other Norse gods, and then the hammer returns within 60 seconds so he can keep being Thor. Now what's interesting, I also grabbed this one, Journey into Mystery 88. This was the second appearance of Loki in this series, and it follows right up. As soon as Loki got back, Odin chews him out and tells him he is never to leave Asgard again.
Go to your room.
He's grounded.
He's grounded. Well, that doesn't last any time.
Go be in the Jim Carrey movie.
Which one?
The Mask.
He's in the mask?
Loki's mask,
It's
man.
Loki's mask.
This is an interesting piece, Mr. Ipkiss. Looks like 4th or 5th century Scandinavian. Possibly a representation of one of the Norse night gods. Maybe Loki.
Never in the comics that I know of, but it's in... Yeah.
Okay.
So, in this comic, Loki returns to Earth, but now he knows that Thor is Don Blake. He manages to get Thor's hammer away from him for 60 seconds, puts a force field around it so that Don Blake can't get it and turn back into Thor and throw him a beat down.
Yeah. It's kind of cute, like little mortal trying to get in his little force field box with his tiny human meat hands.
But again, Loki uses his brains and his wits to actually get Thor's hammer away and keep him away from it. Thor eventually tricks Loki, which was kind of interesting. Thor usually goes at things all hammer, no thought. And this time he had to outsmart him, got his hammer back, and...
Fire versus fire, right?
Well, this
Kind of
time
thing.
Thor actually took Loki to Asgard and dropped him off. But it's
Picked him up by the scruff like a cat.
It's kind of a reoccurring thing that Loki gets in trouble, Thor subdues him, takes him back to Asgard, Odin grounds him, and that lasts until the next time.
Yeah.
And they are stepbrothers. I noticed they make sure they always say, Loki always says, Thor, my stepbrother, or half-brother. Half-brother.
Very different.
Because, you know them frost giants.
Well, they hadn't really established that he had anything to do with frost giants at that point.
Oh, okay.
That kind of came later and mostly in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the artwork in both of these, in this issue also, is Jack Kirby, and the writing is by Stan Lee. And one of the things we wanted to give a little more information on is this mini bust. This was done by Bowen Designs, and Randy Bowen created Bowen Designs, and he actually sculpted this one. So this is 6.5 inches tall, it's 1/8 scale, and was done by Randy Bowen. Randy Bowen did a lot of these busts and statues, and they really go up in value. A lot of it depends on which character. something else they do on the bottom of the box.
We haven't touched it, people. Trust me.
So this is
Don't touch it.
number
Go wash your hands.
3915 of 5,000. So they did 5,000 of these. And on the bottom it actually tells you sculpted by Randy Bowen, prototype built and painted by Randy Lambert, photography by Greg Preston, and box design by Jeremy Perkins.
Man, so for the 2,000 of them that were immediately put on the front of people's cars, it would be an awesome hood ornament.
It would, but they're very fragile, and
that's what I would have done with it.
Take really good care of it.
We just took him out of the box. Uncle, is Loki's hair blonde or is it dark?
It's actually dark, and that is not his hair.
Is that Thor's hair?
It's a ponytail.
Did he cut it off Thor when he was sleeping?
How sometimes on helmets they have...
Yeah, they have the mohawk on the Spartan helmet.
Stuff like that.
Oh.
Yeah, he's not blonde, he's dark-headed.
Well, that's what I always wondered, because as soon as I saw you take that out, I was like, is Loki blonde?
I wondered the same thing.
Dark-haired in the... Or, I guess, brunette. So, does Loki have any object other than, how, Thor has his hammer? Does Loki have something? Other than his ponytail?
Not off the top of my head.
And his pretty little mammoth horns here.
Yeah, they are always consistent with Loki and his helmet and the big horns. Which, watching Tom Hiddleston wear those... It seems like it would pull on your head so much, but I think they set them back.
They
make it top heavy.
I bet you they hollow them.
Yeah,
and then put something on his head to make it fall off.
Or he grows his hair out because he hides how totally bulky his neck muscle has gotten. Cats are loose.
Yeah, no.
Sorry.
It's all right.
I'll wrangle my cats back in.
No,
Come
okay.
here.
No, it's better this way.
I remember the
Come
next
here.
part. Now, Loki has appeared in a number of video games. The one that's at the top of my list and is the most memorable, he was a mini-boss, or a boss fight in Marvel Ultimate Alliance. Now, what made that fight memorable was it was one of the more challenging ones. Last time, or in a previous panel, we talked about me and Endo and Wilson and Matt beating up on MODOK, which was fairly straightforward and simple.
Mm-hmm.
When we fought Loki, I think a couple people even were knocked unconscious. And Loki, he used area of effect attacks, he could teleport, he could use illusions. It was actually it was kind of a challenging fight, and it was a lot of fun. Doing it by yourself, if you're playing through the game, it's even more challenging. So it's a lot more fun with having your friends help you. You're able to go to Asgard, meet some of the different Asgardians, and eventually battle Loki. So that was a good game. The one I'm curious about, because it's on my backlog of shame, is I do have the Thor video game, which Loki is in, but I haven't played it yet. It's on the 360. They never make those backward compatible, so I have to go down, boot up the 360 to play that.
Like some caveman.
I have a 360.
Well, good.
Peasants. I didn't mean that.
Now, to introduce these guys to Loki, one of the things we did tonight, or today, was we watched the Mighty Thor. There's a comic book animated series from 1966, and they did 4 different series, and they really just took panels from the comics and took the art from the comics and animated it a little bit.
Yeah, mostly just the mouths.
Yeah.
And the arms.
And the arms.
But what's kind of cool is
it was bad.
Then these guys can see the animation and they can see the story without reading the comic. Not that it's a big deal, if they read the comic. But this way we could all watch it together, and we sort of made fun of it a little bit.
Well,
It was fun.
We had fun.
And so we watched the first one from the Mighty Thor from 1966, which basically covered this comic book and then covered this comic book and did all of it in 16 minutes.
Yeah.
We also, so they could get a look at a more animated or fully animated show, we watched the Amazing Spider-Man.
No, it's Spider-Man and his amazing friends.
Spider-Man and his amazing friends.
With Fred.
With Fred from Scooby-Doo. Yeah.
I never realized that Iceman was Fred from Scooby-Doo.
Say, Thor, what do you know about...
They're not even that different. Like, you could just easily swap them. Like, Fred just does this when... It's his origin story before he met and got in debt with his drug dealer, Shaggy.
And his dog who will eat him.
Well, in that one, Spider-Man and his amazing friends, Firestar and Iceman. Iceman gets called up to rescue a tanker. It's up in these cold waters. He finds a Viking ship. Loki wants this jewel off the Viking ship, so he shows up, Thor shows up. So it was kind of fun to... I remember watching that one. That came out in 1981. And it was one of the first times I got to see Thor animated and see Loki animated. And so that was kind of cool.
So you did watch it on the television?
I did.
Nice.
Way back when.
Way back when. Tonight we watched it on streaming. Now we have done a panel on Thor, and we actually talked quite a bit about Loki. This time we're focused on Loki. When we did the previous ones, we did a cast any, and at that time I cast Julian Sands. From the time when he was in the movie Warlock, I felt like he really looked like Loki. And then when we did a cast now, I went with
Iwan
Rowan.
He's Welsh. That just messes me up. I can't say words.
And so he would be my cast if I cast him today. But tonight, as we watched Loki, our challenge was to come up with a theme song. And I came up with Foolin' by Def Leppard. Loki's thing is he's the trickster, he's the God of Mischief, and that was a song that stuck in my head. Foolin' by Def Leppard.
Nice.
Carter, where'd you end up on that?
I chose to spend one of, like, my ultimate songs. Like ones that you just know are perfect for something, but you don't know what yet. And I chose Sympathy for the Devil by Rolling Stones. It weighed heavily on my conscience, because it's like, I can't spend this on other ones now. But I felt Loki as a character has earned it. Especially with the show coming out, because you can just picture him raising hell throughout history, just like in the lyrics to that song.
Yeah, that would be cool. All right, Mason.
Wealth and taste.
Where did you land? You forgot?
Wolfmother. Oh. No, I was going to pick Flash. Flash! Savior of the universe!
He's picking that because that song is stuck in his head.
Yeah, no, I love that song.
We're not blaming you. It wedges in there, man.
It's awesome.
Just right between the hemispheres.
Yeah, no, I pick Wolfmother, Joker and the Thief. Yeah, it just seems like a chaos montage waiting to happen.
Well said.
Cool. So tonight's panel about Loki was put together because Loki has his own series coming out.
He earned it.
It'll be on Disney Plus, and once it starts streaming, we will watch the first few episodes, we'll score them, and get back to you to let you know what we thought.
We'll give you our high school book report, as it were.
And if you want to score them, You could follow that too. Just watch our review of movies.
TV.
And a TV show.
It's like a movie, only smaller.
So thanks for hanging out with us.
Thanks for watching.
Like and subscribe.
If you want.
But do. We would really like you to. From deep down in here.